What's up, ladies and gentlemen? For our intro today, I thought we'd do something a little bit different. I noticed that it snowed this morning. It snowed quite a bit, and I just wanted to show you how absolutely gorgeous it is outside right now. The sun pretty much just set, and you can see that everything down there is absolutely shrouded in white. We got probably 6 or 7 inches of snow on top of the huge snowstorm that came through earlier last week as well. I've got a mug that promotes the opposite of lab safety. It is my favorite mug. And let's get to the wildlife wild fact. So penguins are pretty incredible creatures. That right there, that handsome, beautiful fellow, is a penguin. And that's me holding him there during my days as an intern at the Central Park Zoo. Penguins can actually shoot their poop 3 feet backwards in order to avoid dirtying up their nest. Now that is absolutely wild. For more on penguins, check out the links in the description below. Alright, so today we are doing LEETCODE problem number 169, majority element. This question says, given an array nums of size n, return the majority element. Now the majority element is the element that appears more than n divided by 2 times in the array. And you may assume that the majority element always exists in the array. So we will always have an answer. This is normally an easy problem. I've seen it asked in a few mock interviews, but we are going to do the follow-up version of this problem. Could you solve the problem in linear time and in O of 1 space? How do we do that, might you ask? Let's look at a few examples. First, we have an input of nums where the elements are 3, 2, and 3. So we have 3 elements, and we want the element that occurs more than 3 divided by 2 times. Well, 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, and there is no element that appears 1.5 times. The element that appears more is 3. And if we look at the second example, we have an array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements. In those 7 elements, the number 2 appears 4 times, which is more than half of 7, which would be 3.5. Let's begin. The first thing I'm going to do, in order to create this O of 1 space solution, is initialize a variable called count and set it equal to 0. And the next thing I'm going to do is initialize another variable, and this is where we're going to store our majority element. So I'm just going to call it majority element. Now I'm going to let this sit here. It will be undefined but declared, so we can change it as we continue through our problem. Next thing I want to do is loop through our array. I'm going to use a for of loop here. So for const num of nums. So for each num in the nums array, I want to say if count equals 0, then I want to set the majority element equal to the current value of num. After that, no matter what, each time we are going to set count equal to or plus equals to whether or not the majority element is equal to the current value of num. And if it is, we are going to add 1 to count. And if it's not, we are going to subtract 1 from count. So then, as we go through, what we have are these rising peaks and dipping valleys for the value of count. And every time count hits 0, we essentially change what our majority element is. What this allows for us to do is count how many times almost each element appears. So all the way at the end, all we need to do is return the majority element. I will run the code. We got the right answer. I will submit the code because sometimes we don't get the right answer. We did. We got a pretty good answer as far as I'm concerned, and that's it. So let's run through a test case. We'll take this test case here. That is 221122. I'm going to put that up here for us. Now let's run through. We start and we initialize count equal to 0, and we have our majority element that is declared but undefined. Now we go into our for loop and we say for const num of nums. So we're on the first element of our input array, which is 2. Does the count equal 0? Yes, it does. So majority element now equals the current number, which is 2. And then we go on. Count plus equals whether or not majority element equals the current number. Does the majority element equal the current number? Yes, it does, because 2 equals 2. So we add 1 to count. We go to the next number and we say, does count equal 0? No. So we move on. Does the majority element equal the current number? Yes, it does again. So we add another 1 to count and we go to the next number. Does the count equal 0? No, it does not. So we move on. Does the majority element equal num? Well, the current number is 1 and the majority element is currently 2. So no, they are not equal. We subtract 1 from count. We go again, we go to the next number, and we say, does the count equal 0? No. So, does the majority element equal num? No, it doesn't yet. So, we subtract another 1 from count. And we go to the next number. Does the count equal 0? Yes. So, we change majority element to equal the current number, which is 1. And here you might say, but Ian, we know that the majority element, the answer to this problem, is the number 2. Why are you changing it? Don't worry, I've got you covered. Now we go on and we say, does majority element equal num? Well, actually, yes, it does. So we increment counter by 1, and we go to the next element. We say, is the count equal to 0? No, it's not. But does the majority element equal the number? No, it doesn't. So we decrement count, so it goes back to 0, and we go one final time. We move to the next element, and we say, does count equal 0? Yep, it absolutely does. So majority element now equals 2. I told you, I've got you covered. And we go one more time down to our final check. Does majority element equal the current number? It does, which is fairly irrelevant at this point, but we increment count and we would go on to the next element, but there is no next element, so we break out of our loop and we return our majority element, which is 2. Ladies and gentlemen, that is LeetCode problem number 169, majority element. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit more about penguins and maybe how they poop. I'll catch you next time.